Yeah, Aaron is really about the writing. And I appreciate that. The way that he directs is actually rather hands-off. He's as long as you stick to the words, which why wouldn't you want to stick to the words? He's very much like, you should do, I think, what these words inspire you to do.
So yeah, Mr. Sorkin is, and I'm calling him that because I'm not sure whether it's Aaron or Aaron, is obviously a hugely intimidating force because he is probably the greatest living screenwriter. He's written so many brilliant movies and TV shows and plays. So he's definitely intimidating to be around. But he's very playful, he knows exactly what he wants, he's amazingly enthusiastic, and very, very light, actually. So, yeah, it's been great. It's been great with him.
Yeah, Aaron's very, very interesting as a director. Aaron, from my perspective, he lies heavily on his writing. Not to always bring Aaron, not to bring it back to his writing, but the writing is so strong that as a director, he brings the intelligence of what his vision is. I think the best directors that I've worked with have always had a very strong vision, very clear idea of what they want to execute it. I think the other thing is that Aaron cast the film incredibly well. So he allowed space for intelligent actors to meet an intelligent script, and then to bring that to life. I think the director's job. I think Aaron made it his job to make it as easy for us to tell the story as possible, and for him to be able to give us a playground to play, and for him to step back. So I think between the combination of his writing smarts, his choice of casting, and then trusting us, to go in and play, I think it gave us a lot of the freedom and structure to succeed.
You walk past the Hilton Hotel where Hubert Humphrey looked down on Grant Park to where the protesters were being gassed. The tear gas was floating up to his open window while he was receiving the nomination for the presidency, the Democratic nomination for the presidency. That's so amazing to be able to work in those places. It would be like shooting a scene for the French Revolution at the Bastille. You don't have to pretend at all. You feel the energy, and you know the topography. You feel the energy, and you know the topography. You can see it and feel it, and why it unfolded the way it did. It's absolutely vital to the truth of the film.
That was a great and very powerful way to start filming. We started there in I forget what month it is, sometime in October. And they had negotiated a deal for us all to stay at this place called the Palmer House, which was, when I saw that in the email, that's where Judge Julie lived, and it's where the entire jury was impaneled during the trial. So it kind of started off immediately, right off the bat, in a sort of historical, way. Everybody was demonstrating, both in Lincoln Park, which is about 3 miles north of the Hilton. The actual delegates, all the delegates were staying at the Hilton. The Hilton was sort of the de facto headquarters of the Democratic Convention. And there's a park right across the street from the Hilton called Grant Park, and that's where this statue is. It's I think a Union General, General Logan.
Grant Park looks exactly like Grant Park, as you'd imagine, and it was everything we needed. It's the perfect rectangle right on Michigan Avenue. The perimeters are clear. The audience can see, because every scene that takes place in the park, and there aren't many of them. I know you're going to ask me about the fact that most of it's a courtroom drama. But every scene that takes place in the park is about getting out of the park. In a democracy, citizens, we've dressed certain people in a lot of power. We have invested them with that power. And the way to change things, if you can't change things through elections, you have to express your disgust, you have to express your pain, and you have to go out on the streets. You have to disrupt things. You don't have to be violent. You don't have to burn things down. But you have to show leaders that the people who put them there are unhappy, and they need to pay attention. I can't think of any meaningful change that's happened in this country or anywhere else that wasn't preceded by robust protest. The one note that I gave everybody at the beginning and then every day after that was, don't lean into 60s iconography. Don't lean into the tie-dye peace sign psychedelic aesthetic, because this movie is not about 1968, it's about today. And I want to put as little as possible between the movie and today's audience. You know, I've been asked if I changed the screenplay or the film at all to mirror events in this country. No, events in this country changed to mirror the script in chilling ways, in ways that we never imagined. I thought that the film was relevant while we were making it. We didn't need it to get more relevant. All these things that you'd hear in 1968 that I saw, you know, written on signs and photographs from the time. Like I said, we didn't need it to get more relevant, but with the murder of Breonna Taylor and George Floyd and others began to be so much like the murder of Fred Hampton in the middle of the trial. And then finally, the clashes between protesters and police on the street, the use of tear gas and batons. There were times when watching CNN's coverage of those clashes between protesters and police, I thought, you know, if you just degraded the color on that a little bit, it would look exactly like the file footage we used from 1968.